Good morning, Year 9. Welcome to this very low-tech lesson about charge. Okay, so when you've got a circuit set up, and everything is working properly, you've got electrons that will flow around the wires, and this flow is called the current. We measure it in amperes using an ammeter, which you'll have done at school. Now, when you make a circuit and you want to put an ammeter in it, you have to connect it in series so that the current has to flow through the ammeter. Now, to do that, that means that you have to make a gap in the circuit first, and then you put your ammeter in like it's shown on the diagram. Now, as the electrons flow, they're all carrying a little bit of negative charge, and current is actually a measure of how quickly those electrons are flowing around the circuit. And we measure charge in a unit called coulombs. 1 amp of current is the equivalent of 1 coulomb of charge flowing every second. Okay, so by the same idea, 5 amps is 5 coulombs of charge flowing every second. Now, there's a formula that you need to be able to work this out. You've got a relationship between charge, current and time. Now, this is one that you have to be careful of because the letters don't necessarily correspond to the words that they're describing. So in this case, the formula is charge equals current multiplied by time. So Q, which represents charge, equals current, which is I, times T, which is time. Okay, so like we said before, charge is measured in coulombs, which is a big C. Current is measured in amps, which is a big A. You'll be more familiar with that one. And time is measured in seconds, which is S. Now, in this form, it's quite straightforward to use, but there will be times when you have to rearrange the formula to work out different things. Now, in science, we use a lot of these formula triangles, and these are really useful because it actually helps you to figure out what the other rearranged versions of. So whenever you have a formula triangle, it doesn't matter what calculation it's for, if you have the triangle, whatever it is that you are trying to find out, that is the thing that you cover up with your finger, and then that will tell you whatever's remaining how to do the calculation. So for example, like the one that we've just looked at with Q equals I times T, if I put my finger over Q, then my calculation that I have to do is I multiplied by T. And the same idea, if I want to find I cover up I with my finger, and that will give me the formula Q divided by T. So to work out the current, I need to do the charge divided by the time in seconds. Now that's important. You must remember that the time has to be in seconds. Now, just as one to work through, you've got a little question here that says a current of 6 amps flows for 3 minutes. How much charge flows in that time? So we're looking for Q. So that means we need to do current multiplied by time. Now, the one thing you need to remember is that time has to be in seconds. So at the moment, it's in minutes. So the first thing that I need to do is that I'm going to change it into seconds. So my time in seconds is 3 minutes multiplied by 60, because there's 60 seconds per minute. And then I multiply that by 6. And that will give me an answer there of 1,080 coulombs, which is what that big C is for. Now, these ones that you are going to have a try at, okay, I'm going to talk you through the first couple, but I'm not going to give you the answers. I'll give you those tomorrow. Right, so if you look at the first one, you need to find charge. So look at the triangle in the left corner. Charge, the letter is Q, and that's what I want to find out. So I'm going to cover that up with my finger, and that gives me the calculation of I multiplied by T. So I stands for current, which in this case is 5, and time is 2, so I'm going to multiply 5 by 2, and that will give me my answer. Okay, now the next one, I want to find time, so I'm going to have to rearrange the formula and do it in a slightly different way. So just the same idea, you're going to use the triangle and you're going to put your finger over the letter T, and that tells me that the calculation that I need to use is Q divided by I. Okay, so Q is charge, which is 0.4, and it's going to be divided by my current, which is the I, and that will give me 0.4 divided by 1, and you're going to work out the answer. Okay, so you're going to complete the rest of this table and the questions at the bottom, because you need to be prepared to do them in sentences or in a table as it is. And there is another sheet also attached to class charts that you need to work through. You can do your answers on paper, and I'll publish the answers tomorrow so you can correct them. Okay, good luck.